Mike Everett joins us now with an update on the wildfire smoke and which areas of our state are going to be dealing with the red flag warning.
Most of the state. We'll unpack that in just a moment. I actually want to start off with a really big picture view here. So earlier I was showing you the big picture in the GOES 17 satellite, and again you can see some of that wildfire smoke from the Double Creek fire in central Oregon pushing off even at nighttime. Speaking of which, remember I was mentioning earlier, nothing that you're seeing on the horizon, especially at sunset, is cloud cover. That high pressure literally taking the marine layer and pushing it at least a couple hundred miles offshore. The other thing here is the elephant in the room. Take a look at this down towards the south. This is now Tropical Storm K. Was a Category 2 hurricane when it was parallel with Baja. It has been battering Southern California. Big waves, heavy rain, flash flooding all throughout the region. If you have travel plans down to Southern California, including LAX and San Diego over the next 24 hours, make sure you're checking with your carrier. Here's what it looks like in a different kind of way. Look at that. All of that red and yellow, that was heavy rain that just moved through. The good news is that it's taking those temperatures down. Remember, they've been setting records across the south and west for the better part of the last 3 or 4 days. So rain across this region is really good, but unfortunately it's like drinking out of a fire hose. A lot of that is creating runoff and some flash flooding issues there. We're going to continue to monitor that, but it looks like for the most part this thing's going to curve. It will not have any effect on our weather whatsoever, but it looks like it's going to hang out there for a couple more days. Take a look outside right now. We've got some haze coming off of T-Mobile Park. It was fireworks night there. So again, that's not really helping because we've already got plenty of haze out there, but otherwise it's a very pleasant evening. Temperatures in the upper 60s, northeasterly wind gusted up to about 30 miles an hour during the dinner hour tonight, now coming in sustained about 15, sometimes 20 miles an hour. That will settle overnight, but it will be back again tomorrow. So the red flag warning that Steve mentioned, yeah, that's real. It kicked in at midday today, will stay in place until midnight tomorrow night. A lot of data here. Really all you need to know is this, is that winds will continue to come in from the north and east up to about 25 and even 30 miles an hour tomorrow. That drives humidity as low as 15%, which is kind of wild when you think about it. We are right next to Puget Sound and in close proximity to the ocean. Humidity that low is a rarity. Basically, when you get air that comes off of the Cascades, it's expanding air. Expanding air warms and dries, and that's what we're experiencing across the region and will again tomorrow. So it gets a little bit worse before it gets better. Take a look at this. This is Bellingham right now. Again, none of this is cloud cover. All of that is haze, and you can see some of that reflecting off of the city lights there. Otherwise, things looking really beautiful in the lower elevations of Bellingham. Take a look at the air quality. We've got a couple of things to tell you about here. Everything that you're seeing in this kind of gray overlay here, basically from Oregon up to Canada, is an air quality alert that will be in place until at least 3 p.m. tomorrow. And then all of the yellow dots and then some of those orange dots that you see indicate moderate and even some unhealthy air for sensitive groups. Move a little bit farther off towards the east near Wenatchee there. We've got a couple of spots that will have some unhealthy air as some of that smoke pools. And let me get out of the way and show you the rest of the state. We've got air quality issues all the way across out towards the east, even though we're seeing some of that offshore flow. Speaking of that offshore flow, that will continue to be a thing throughout the day tomorrow. So it looks like around the dinner hour, it will peak. You see some of those yellows indicating that it's going to be, again, not great as far as air quality goes, but when you step back and take a comparison here to what we're seeing across portions of central Idaho, Montana, and even eastern Washington, we're going to see some spots that will be far worse than we'll see across Puget Sound. We go Saturday night into Sunday, we kind of see that air quality peak, but then we should see those winds start to moderate. In fact, as we zoom this out a little bit, you'll see those winds coming easterly throughout most of the day tomorrow, but then finally becoming light and variable on Sunday, and then eventually as we go towards Monday, we'll see it come back onshore again, and that should help to clear and cool the air. So a bit of a wild ride ahead. It's going to be a hot and hazy weekend, but by the time we get to Monday night and the Seahawks home opener, conditions should be perfect.